the end, or looks to be the end, of a very long battle. Steinhoff first imploding in 2017. There are over 100 claimants who had put litigation forward against Steinhoff, and in fact asking for 184 billion rand from South Africa to Europe, where they are headquartered. There were people looking to lay claim against them due to their financial scandals, but the Western Cape High Court settling on just 25 billion rand that should be paid to the various claimants, including creditors and some other class action suits, some individuals who feel that they had been done wrong as a result of the accounting scandals there. Now, earlier, Newzroom Afrika spoke to the former CEO of Techie Town, Mr. Bernard Mostert. They were one of the key litigators in this matter. Techie Town bought shares into Steinhoff just before it crashed, and they went to approach the court saying that they had been hard done by and sold a dream, in fact lied to, on the true state and nature of them. And in fact, from this 25 billion rand settlement, they are due to get some money. But we spoke exclusively to Mr. Bernard Mostert, and I asked him how they feel about this case.
Yeah, Kumala, I don't know if happy is the right word. I think we're relieved. I think we're relieved where we ended up. I think that's the right word. I think we're relieved.
Because you had asked for a different kind of punitive measure. In fact, you were looking to liquidate the business in its entirety. So this settlement, I know in all things compromises have to be made, but how did you come from that point where you were initially to now?
I think you are quite right, is that compromises were made, and I think one takes into account those compromises that everyone has made. And for us, there were a few key building blocks in actually supporting the settlement process. The first is that we accepted that our legal journey, if fought to the very end, which we were perfectly willing to do, would have taken another 10 to 12 years. And that would have been counter the outcome that we're seeing in our current business, where we're fortunate that we are putting some very good results on the board. And I think the team that is with us now deserves our full attention and also our ability to invest our resources into this business. The second big building block is largely a personal one, and that is that, it does take it out of you emotionally to continue on this journey that is clearly hostile. And then the last, and for me certainly, and for Brahm and everyone else in our camp, that's important, is that if we continue to pursue our litigation course, it would have got to a point where the man on the street, the class action claimants that historically in South Africa don't have any standing. And there's a previous judgment in the Steinhoff saga that affirms that position, is that class action claimants in South Africa don't actually have a claim, would have received none of the settlement that was reached between their various representatives, the class actions representatives, and Steinhoff. So we're very glad that there is recovery for everybody here. Not necessarily the recovery that everybody wanted, but there is recovery also for those who, at a technical level at least, had a much bigger hurdle to overcome than what we may have had. So I think that sums up the situation. And now, you also don't have to look in your rearview mirror all the time and work on something that happened in your past. You can fix your gaze on the future and work on something that's ahead of you.
So 25 billion has been made available to claimants, and as if I understand the judgment correctly, that's from the 15th of February of this year. So in the next couple of weeks, this money will be made available, or should be start to get paid out. How much are you expecting of that?
Kubana, I think it is public knowledge that our overall final settlement for all the various cases that we were involved in against both Steinhoff and Pepco amounts to just north of 1.2 billion rand.
Now, my last question related to the case, sorry to go back with you, but I wonder, are you satisfied that this should be the end, or are you hoping that there is additional remedial action taken against the very specific players that got you to the point where you were now suing Steinhoff?
It's a very good question. And, life is all about choices, but not only the choices that you make. It's also about how you react to choices, your own and other people's choices. So, to answer your question, I do hope that it's not the end of the saga. I do hope for various things. I do hope that there is certain remedial action. And I do also hope that it's written into legislation, for instance, that class actions participants in South Africa do have claims in cases of this nature, because I think, heaven forbid, but I do think that we will see similar incidents again in future. And it should be very clear what your recourse is. And also the process should really be designed that it can be discovered early, that it can be handled swiftly, and that you can try and avoid what has been a large tie-up of assets, time, and resources over an extended period of time.
That was Bernard Mostert there, the co-founder and former CEO of Techie Town, telling us just how he feels about this latest judgment. More to come from that Steinhoff saga, I'm sure, as more individuals specifically get tried for their involvement in that situation.